Search by what? If I don't know the code, how do I do this? Oh, come on.
If you don't know the code for an item,
If I don't know the code to be able to put into my search box, how am I going to find a roof item?
Spell it out.
No, you said that was harder to do that way.
Through. How about my reference search?
Reference search.
Reference search will do it, won't it?
Yeah.
My exterior. Roofing. Oh, now I know. What's my code for roofing? RFG. Absolutely. So now I can go in and I can actually look at what is available to me. Correct? Great. So don't forget that, guys. You've got the ability through Quick Entry and Sketch to use that reference. So let's say RFG. In this instance, I have a laminate shingle. Now I know the code is 300. That's something that you're going to learn. But I need to look at I'm going to do a partial replacement. I'm just repairing this roof, okay? Remember I told you I was going to show you how you could actually do different repairs? So I'm going to go ahead and take it and I'm going to say, I'm going to take it without felt. I'm going to bring it over and I can remove and replace that shingle without felt in a single line item. If I hover anywhere in the roof, what happens to it? The entire roof. Why? It's all connected. Why? What tells me that?
The subs.
The subs. Absolutely. So the subs are all connected to the main, right? Well, Laurie, how would I actually go in and just repair a slope if that's what I need to do? I'm going to hover over that slope ID.
Okay.
So in this instance, F10 is the slope I'm dealing with. If that's where my damage occurred. And I would click it and release it. And there's my items. Now I could go through the process of pulling all that up, right? Do it. Oh, your search bar? Options. You're welcome. I can enter all those line items one at a time. What was something we learned yesterday, even when we wanted to change the variable and we were writing graphically? Right click? Who said that? Absolutely. Absolutely.
I didn't say it.
But you were thinking it out loud.
I just wanted to take credit for it.
So I'm going to go back to my RFG 300. I'm going to go ahead and select it. I'm over here in my white abyss. Does it give me the opportunity to right click? Look up at the front. What does it say?
Click right.
So I'm going to click right to change. I don't necessarily want to change my variable, but I need to add a couple of other things. Look what it's giving me the opportunity to do. Not only can I deal with the shingles, but I know I'm going to have to deal with felt, am I not? So there's my felt. And the reason I'm going to, in this instance, choose the line item without felt is because my client says we don't pay waste on felt. So I know I'm going to remove actual shingles and replace with waste, right? But my felt has to come off without and go back on without. So if that's all I had to deal with and my drip edge, I could go ahead and select those two items, choose OK, and then come back to my slope. Now look what it did for me. It took care of that process for me. What do you think? Time management?
Yes.
Can you make a lot of errors using this? Absolutely, if you go hog wild and just choose everything, you gotta think about what you're trying to do. What, do y'all not say hog wild here? Come
Yes,
on.
we do.
So I would like for you to go ahead and choose RFG 300. Bring it over to your white abyss, and I'd like for you to right click and drop down and choose the drip edge and the felt for me, if you would please.
Reference search.
Once you've completed that, name tags up on the side, please.
RFG 300.
Where do we place it? Yeah, where's
You
it?
said without?
Without felt or with felt?
I want you to choose the line item without because you're going to choose felt separately. Oh, say, look how fast some of you are getting this done today.
Drip edge.
Mine is not.
Someone got some sleep last night.
I just did it while you were.
Don't tell me that.
Oh, okay.
What did you click on?
You get a whole instruction.
Yeah, but how did you even get to? You gotta do this again. I don't know which way to go. Exterior.
Yeah, or 300 at 300.
Looking up.
How do we even start it? Just clicking on the exterior, the roof, and then this picture right here?
Yes, this is a search button.
This button right here. Okay.
You have to RFG 300.
Okay. I was trying to do it the other way that she did it. I didn't know how. Okay, so now 300. Without felt. She said without felt, right? Why did two of them pop up? Okay. And then drip is.
It's just like the carpet. The carpet came in as a removal and then replaced it with the base. And it's going to do the same thing for the shingles because we actually must remove and put in place.
Good Lord.
And then it puts it on your cursor, and then you place it where you need it. I'm asking you just to choose the RFG 300 first.
I did.
But then you have to click on it and bring it over into your white abyss. Let me go back over this one more time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
I've got my RFG 300, right? And I'm choosing it without felt because of the fact that I know I cannot include waste on my felt with this client. I've chosen it by clicking it. It is now attached where? To my cursor, right?
Right.
So it's on my cursor. Wherever I'm at, it's still on my cursor. I'm going to right click and I'm going to expand up and then I'm going to have the opportunity to choose what else I need to include in my action.
Oh, that's the part.
Once I've done that, I need all eyes forward. Once I've done that, I'm going to say, okay, it has loaded my cursor with that additional information. Now I can't see it. It's not going to list everything I've chosen, but it's there. So once I go ahead and click onto the area that I need to make that repair to, it drops it all in for me. If I have multiples, again, just like the rooms, I could come over here and I could click on whatever slope I need to. And it still is on my cursor until I do what?
Press escape.
Press escape, absolutely.
What if you have multiples that you're, could you pull it up again when you right clicked on it and the box came up?
Sure.
Right click. And so what if you're choosing several of those?
I just clicked them. It allows me to choose several.
You don't have to hold control down, you just click.
No,
Okay.
see the little box?
Oh.
It says add.
Okay.
So I'm just clicking everything that I need to add.
Okay. And then you click OK, and then.
And then I
it
would
puts
say
in-
okay, and it loads my cursor with everything that I've asked it to.
Okay.
I did the 30-pound belt. I'm in Florida. They won't allow 15. And drip edge.
Oh, that's so neat.
When you hover over, it's not going to. Well, I say that. Remember, you're on a. Yeah, so you place here. You place there. It actually has changed. See how it's different from the blue? Your colors just aren't as prominent as mine are.
Okay.
All right, name tags up on the side when you have completed that, please.
Do you want us to drop them on the faces that you did, or does it matter?
I just want you to drop them on a face. But
Okay.
just think direction, because honestly, that's good practice. So my hail came in from this direction, and somehow it skipped here and here, but it hit there, there, and there. Just think direction. Think in terms of the fact that it's going to be less than 50% of my roof. And therefore, the client I happen to be working for is saying, if it's not 50%, we're not going to replace it.
Hold on, delete this. Let me see. All right. Here comes. Make sure I put the river on this stuff.
At first it wasn't showing up down there. I didn't have that. Right.
Okay.
What happened was, that's when I get up. When you see that accident in that race, even though it's. That's. That's the problem I was having. So I just did. And then that's.
So why is it not showing in my items? Why is it not showing up?
That was how she did mine. Is this one of these?
How much is you guys unemployment max in Florida? All
3,000,
right, like per week.
270.
I thought Georgia's was crap.
And what you see?
Maximum you can get is 330. Doesn't matter how much you make. Make $1 million. And when you go apply 330, that's with not. And then if you get your taxes taken out, you know, obviously it's lower than that.
So sorry.
Over here.
Lori, I'm behind.
Everybody's-
How did you get behind?
So what happened, when that roof that I had, I
Mess
guess,
out there.
Let me come over here so I can actually hear you.
yeah. So the roof that I guess I deleted, I guess when I got back to this one, it was one of the ones where you were saying, hey, you could draw another roof separate, you put it on the double that. Okay, yeah. So anyways, I guess.
I know. This girl.
Yeah, so now,
Just double what we get here. I'm like, I don't understand why Georgia's was so cheap.
Jimmy planning.
So that's your roof right
Yeah.
there. This was just really.
How many houses is it again?
We gotta go that way.
You live-
Saturday, so.
Think about that. Depends on what my friend says. Because he gets off whatever kind of.
No. So now go ahead
He's like a
and
boy.
instead.
He does whatever he wants. But,
Okay, so but I need, we just try both of them.
Right.
Oh, it's fine, just have them down.
my birthday.
Okay.
Celebrate your birthday. And that, happy birthday. July, what is, okay.
I'm the 27th. Also, the 27th is what you know.
Yes, oh my gosh, that's my ex-boyfriend's birthday. Yeah, stay in Atlanta and have a little fun.
They can get the bottom section that shows a list of things.
All right, that's eyes back up here. Did everyone drop their information? Are people looking for the item selection down below? Where do we go to get that visible windows? Options what? Visible windows, absolutely. What am I gonna choose to get that items list? Items. There you go.
So it was there at one time when I first did.
That's because what you did is you went ahead and you did the shift enter to get that clean pad, and you have to bring things back. You could actually hit Control Shift R at one time to bring all those windows up if that's what you want. Or if you're more comfortable going through options, visible windows, then just know that's where you can go.
Can you also view them under estimate items?
Absolutely, but in order for you not to have to split back and forth, remember yesterday I kept making you go back and forth, and then I said, but there is a way to view it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when putting my drip edge on F10, it said that this item doesn't usually go here or something like that. So I had to drag it to add it there.
It shouldn't have had to. So where was that at? Up here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it shouldn't have said that because we actually do have an area where we need the drip edge.
And mine looks like that, and the price didn't update, so like $1.
I don't know. I'll have to look at that later.
It's not a big deal.
No, well, it is for your demo, but let me take a look at it when we have a break or something. Okay, we'll take a look. So does everyone understand how that works on doing that repair? Hovering over what?
Area.
I'm hovering over an area right now. What is that going to do for me?
The title.
Nothing. If I have that item chosen and I hover just in an area, I have to be careful. If I click right now, it does the entire roof. I have to hover over that face. Absolutely. That's how I get to that item. So think in terms of just like the room. The main room, if I only wanted the main room and none of the sub-rooms, where would I hover? Over that main room. Remember when we hovered and all of the subgroups disappeared? They weren't highlighted anymore? Same exact process in the roofs, except that we're using the faces as opposed to the name. Now, I could have gone over to the name of a roof. If I come over here, it's still going to highlight the F1 because it's shared, right? If I had highlighted only the main gable on the front over the name, as opposed to just the face, it would have allowed me to take care of that entire roof that I hovered over the name. So in the roofs, it just goes a step further. I have the names, I have the faces.
So Lori, I noticed that it goes back and forth between delete and place.
Because I've grabbed the item that I've already utilized. The minute I grabbed it, highlighted areas where I've already placed it. If I realize that I did something wrong, I can come back and hover over it and it says, do you want to delete it? Well, yes, I do. It just took all those items away. They're no longer present. Now when I hover, it says, oh, do you want to place? So remember, we were talking yesterday, the system is smart. It's not going to let you drop drywall on the walls and ceilings more than once if you've already done it. Yes, sir.
So you have this fast thing. And you accidentally stamp, click, get the whole roof. How do you deal with it? You just delete that line item?
I would go in, if I had clicked it on the entire roof, let's just do it real quick. It just deleted areas that I needed. So now I'm replacing the whole roof and I did it on accident. Okay, my whole roof was highlighted. I can hover over the areas that I either didn't intend to do and tell it to delete those areas. That'd be my quickest way. I'm already in Sketch. I've already got it up on my cursor, right? So maybe it should just been the back slope that was covered. Okay, I can tell it to delete this slope. I can tell it to delete this slope, and this roof. Now, what's highlighted? Only the rear. So see, I mean, this coloring, it helps you. It helps you to understand where you have things, what you've done. And it's not going to highlight, if I go in and choose a different line item, let's say that I'm over here and I'm going to choose turbine roof. It doesn't identify anything on that roof, does it? Because I haven't actually used that item. So it's not going to say, hey, by the way, here's where you actually replaced it. No, it's not going to do that. It's only when I have the same item chosen that I can see the sketch where it's been placed already.
No, I know this is an exercise, but you have the option to select replacing the roof with removing, including the felt.
Mhm.
And you didn't do that. I mean, when you
So,
ordinarily do that,
here's-
eliminate section one back.
No, so here's the deal. So what I was talking about is the fact that with the client that we're working, this client has told me I cannot have waste on felt. So I chose to go ahead and separate them because I'm going to remove my shingles without waste, but I'm going to replace them with waste, which is one of the reasons it separates it for you. Did anyone notice that you ended up with 2 line items for those shingles?
Yeah.
That's so that we can go back into the replacement and set our waste factor. If I'd chosen the item with the felt, the waste would have included felt because of the description. It wouldn't have broken that felt out to a separate line item. It would have been all inclusive. And this client says they don't allow it. So I had to make sure it was broken out. Okay? Any questions? No?
You know,
Nothing?
The reality is though, I don't know how you install felt.
The reality is we do what our clients tell us to, and a lot of them do not pay for waste on felt. And I think it's because there is so much built in price-wise to the other line items, it more than compensates.
Mhm.
More than compensates. We don't have the final say. Yep. Any questions on this? How do you like graphical estimation? Being able to choose things. Now, I am going to say this, guys. I talk about the creativity. If you've got ceiling fans and things like that that you're having to replace, if you're going to go in graphically and choose those, it leaves an emblem of that on your sketch. You begin to convolute your sketch. I suggest items like that, you're going to go right through quick entry. Plus, you might have more than one room. But just think in those terms. Remember everything that dropped down when we actually did the macros for the plumbing, for electrical? That stays on that sketch when it prints. So anything else that you're sitting there trying to add is going to stay on that sketch. Do you remember yesterday, though, when I was talking about that area reference and how we can use that in Sketch 2? We can take that tool for the area and we can say, this is our 10 by 10 area, and we could label it and tell them, that's the 10 by 10 area that we took our square for that slope. That's going to help me as a reviewer, and it's certainly going to help my client. Don't you think? Sets you apart.
As long as my pictures match up, right?
Absolutely. Well, Lori, I also took it here. Well, we didn't have a full square. But you can still try to indicate that you were trying to validate. It works. Any questions on that? Are you awake?
Yes.
Oh, good. Did you have a lot of coffee this morning?
It was out.
Yeah.
Not yet. It was out. I did a QT stop this morning myself. I'm on cup number 2.
Oh my
You
God.
wonder where that energy comes from? You're witnessing it today. Yesterday it was chocolate, today it's coffee. All right, so if you don't have any questions, what I'd like to do is I'd like for you to turn to page 198. We'll turn to 197 first. And actually, once you've done that, go ahead, save and exit your roof. It's good for you to have all these different exercises so you can go back and reference them and look at them. And I would like for you to set up A. Larson. And on A. Larson, just go in and do, actually on A. Larson, I want you to enter all of the information. We're going to draw this sketch and we're going to estimate this sketch. Once you've gotten through here and you're ready to go to your sketch, when you meet me in sketch, I just want you to turn your name tag down. So I need everyone's name tag up on its side for now. Thank you.
Dates of loss and all that too, everything,
I'm sorry?
date of loss and everything. all that?
Absolutely. I want you to have everything in there for me.
All right.
I love hearing those clicks. Once you're to sketch, name tag down, please.
Today sometime, can we do the opening statement again? 'Cause I don't have that. Thank you.
Good night.
If you've already completed, I want you to look at page 198. I do want you to pay attention to the instructions at the top. It gives you some specifics about properties. I would like you to go ahead and begin your main level sketch as well. And still place your name card down when you start your sketch, please. And don't feel like you have to rush. Take your time doing it.
We're just making this sketch, correct? We're not adding like the contents or anything, right? We're just doing the sketches.
Just doing the sketches right now.
What's that little shortcut that you just screen the whole big picture? I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't remember it. What's the shortcut? Oh, I just wonder what was the shortcut you used to do to get the whole screen? I want to write it down.
Shifting.
That's it. Okay. Thank you. All right.
I did. This one has a little bit of a challenge, but just see if you can work it out.
It does, 'cause I don't really know. Oh.
Hey Jody, I tried to stop that and I was unable to. Is it a touch screen?
No, ma'am.
Oh, how do I do it?
You have to click the end screen.
The mouse would help. Sorry about that.